Okay, I've gotten quite a few questions about saving a PDF in InDesign. And then in addition to it, we have a little bit of an issue that I'm seeing in the drafts that has to do with making sure you save it so that the spreads show, so that I know what pages you're considering for your spread. Does that make sense? So they both kind of connect with each other. So let's start with the spreads, and then we'll move into the whole how do I get a PDF out of InDesign. Here's what we need to talk about with spreads. So you guys know this, but just a brief review. A spread is basically two facing pages in a magazine, a book, a set of scriptures, a calendar, a planner, that type of thing. So this, what you're seeing right here in front of you, is a spread. This is a single page. We call this a right-hand read because it would be on the right-hand side. If this were a spread, there would be another page right here off to the left of it, okay? But it's a right-hand read. If the article ended just on this side, that would be, oh, it ends on a left-hand read. But then we would talk about the spread as this entire page. Now, you guys have heard me talk about this, I think, if you've watched my mock project videos, that we need to design our spread based on each page looking great by itself, but then also that it looks aesthetically pleasing as a whole. Okay, that's why spreads are difficult. That's why we wanted to include a spread so that you had a chance to work through those, okay? So if your pages don't look like this, then send me a note so that we can talk it through. There are some other things, but for the sake of this video, we don't want to spend the time there on how to fix those issues. But if it doesn't look like this, you could have your spread up here. That's totally fine. But if you don't have two pages together and one page by itself in one order or another, then we need to chat, okay, before you turn in your final. Now, the confusion about saving a PDF in InDesign. Brother Libert does cover this in the InDesign worksheet videos that he puts together. The last video, I think it's called Finish and Submit, he actually goes through this process. But I don't think that he points out one part. He may have mentioned it, but it's kind of offhand. And so this will help with the spread issue, okay? So the trick is that we use the word save a PDF, and I think what's happening is that some of you are actually taking it literal to go up to File and go down to Save, Save As, or Save a Copy. Those options don't give you an option to save a PDF. You're exactly right. In InDesign, how we get in a PDF is by exporting it, okay? So we're going to export, not save. So we're going to go to File, and then we're going to skip all these save options, and we're going to go down to Export. When we click Export, then we get that same flyout screen. And at this point, we can save, we can rename our final so we know that it's the final. So right here, I'm just going to type in final before Comms 130 magazine spread example. And then we can choose where we want to save it. And then we want to make sure that's an Adobe PDF print. Say, Brother Libert did show us this portion, so make sure it's PDF print, okay? Then at that point, we want to hit save. And when we hit save, then this export Adobe PDF file, the pop-up menu comes from InDesign. And this is all those printer marks. Some of you have said, I'm not sure how to turn off those printer marks. And he does talk about it a little bit, but it's a little bit offhand. So if you didn't remember the video very clearly, you wouldn't probably remember how to do it, and that's okay. But let's talk how to deal with the spread first. Right here under the pages section, you can see I'm kind of boxing it in with my cursor. You have some options. So we want to export all the pages, not arrange, we want to do all of them. Then we have the option to export it as either pages or spreads. When we export it as spreads, what will end up happening is the PDF will show me which pages you intend to be a spread. So when I open it up in Canvas after you submit it, then I can see the pages that you wanted to be a spread, and that way I can give you the points for having a spread, okay? Sometimes I can guess which pages you meant to be spreads based on what I'm seeing in the design. Other times I can't. Right now, as far as I've gotten in grading the assignments, it's about 50-50, okay? So you want to go pages, and then you want to click this spreads, all right? Then some of you have asked, okay, how do I get off those printer marks? And the printer marks for the final, they're okay in a draft, all right? But for the final, it doesn't really give that polished look that we're going for. And so I'm going to make sure you turn off the marks and bleeds in the final, okay? So where you would do that is up here in the left-hand column of this same screen that we just made the spreads in. We're going to go to marks and bleeds. And then you will choose, you can turn in all the printer marks, or you're going to click that box off. You want to make sure that all of that is off. Compression, we don't have anything to do with that. Output, we're totally fine. Advanced, we don't need anything. Security and summary, totally fine. Check general one more time to make sure the spreads is there. I always double check everything because I'm crazy. So I go marks and bleeds. All the printer marks are off. So those printer marks are all your view lines, your grids and guides, the printer marks, the color bar, that kind of stuff. Then at this point, you're going to go ahead and hit export. It's telling me that there's overset text. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about my missing links. Remember I told you I had some errors, right? Okay, so what just popped up in the screen, it came into Adobe Acrobat Reader. So once you save your PDF, you're going to want to open it up and make sure that you've got what you need, okay? So you can tell right here, there's no lines, but this is kind of a funny view. It must not have saved it right. That's not the case. Adobe Acrobat Pro, or your Adobe Reader, is going to pull it up in whatever viewing format it feels like is the best option. Here's how you change it to double check that it really works, because this is how it will end up looking in Canvas, okay? You go up to View, and you go down to Page Display. And that little flyout shows you either single page view, two-page view, two-page scrolling. And what I look at it as is single page view. So now it's really big, so I can go ahead up here and I can take it down. I'm going to take it down probably a little less than 100%, just so you can see. So everything looks good here. There's no printer guides or anything. It all looks great. And then when I scroll down to the second page, then I can see my spread. And I'm like, oop, awesome. No printer marks. Everything looks awesome. And you can tell kind of where my cursor is moving right now. That would be where the page break is, okay? But there's no way for me to say, oh, wait, which one is the spread? I know what the spread is because it's right here and it looks wider than the other, okay? So double check it. Open it up in Acrobat Reader and make sure you've got the right thing before you submit it, okay? That's how you cover all those issues. I mentioned in several of your drafts already that I've graded about this video. If you went looking for the video and you didn't find it, I apologize. Here it is now. I'll post it right now as soon as it's done processing so that it's available, and then I'll get back to accessing all your drafts and giving you guys feedback and getting those returned to you. So hopefully that helps with how to export a PDF, and then also how to get rid of the printer marks, and then additionally, the very last item, how to make sure that you show me which portion is the spread for your report so you can get those full points.